Morning, students. Hope all are doing well at home. So we will discuss the today's topic, that is impact of mergers and acquisitions on EPS. जैसे कि हम जानते हैं कि EPS is calculated by applying a formula, that is earning available to equity shareholder divided by number of equity shares, that we have already discussed in the class how we can calculate EPS. सो हम EPS के बारे में क्यों सोचते हैं? बिकॉज आर प्राइमरी मोटिव ऑफ द बिजनेस इज टू इंक्रीज द वेल्थ ऑफ द शेयर होल्डर्स. So we are thinking about EPS. So how it will impacted by the mergers and acquisitions? Either that will impacted positively or negatively. So we'll start with the introduction part. So the first part is introduction. In order to fully analyze the impact of the mergers and acquisitions on EPS, the company owners must compare the standalone acquirer to the newly combined business. यहाँ पे जो standalone acquirer है उसका meaning है transfer company which transfer its business to the new business, and newly combined business is known as a transferee company. So here either there is a positive impact or negative impact. How we can check? So an effective way of doing this this is through EPS assertion or dilution. Assertion stands for increase or dilution stands for decrease in EPS. So this is a simple test that shows whether the proposed deal will increase or decrease the post transaction EPS for the buyers. There are some performance statement indicate the projected financial position of the potential buyer of determine the impact. So we have to check whether the EPS is increases or decreases. So that can be checked through performance statements or financial position of the business. So we'll move further with the analysis part. So there are performance statements, there are some analysis we have to do for finding either there is a positive impact or negative impact on EPS. So first one is performa analysis. Second one is performa EPS. Third is assertion and dilution analysis, which include the three parts: assertion, delusion, and the third part is break-even analysis. So first part is performa analysis. Under the performa analysis, using the performa calculations to estimate the benefit of the mergers or acquisition is important, as it allows the acquirer to determine what price is willing to or able to pay. Basically here we are discussing about the benefit or the loss that can be incurred by the transferee company. So beyond the amount that he is willing to pay is form of consideration. If we are willing to pay more, then that is a part of consideration, that is a part of purchase consideration that they are able to use in order to pay the transition of the ownership. Either we are paying into the cash or we are paying into the stock or other securities or combination of all. So that is performa analysis, under which we can discuss what we are able to pay, or in nutshell it is also known as lump sum. इसमें क्या होता है कि बेसिकली दो पर्सनस हैं, दो कंपनीज हैं. व्हेन वी आर टॉकिंग अबाउट ट्रांसफर एंड ट्रांसफरी कंपनी, सो दे आर ऑन अ म्यूचुअल कंसेंट. मीन्स जैसे कि ट्रांसफरी कंपनी बोलती है कि मैं आपको इतना कैश दूंगी और मैं इतना आपको स्टॉक्स दूंगी, और बोथ आर एग्री on the same thing, that is known as consent. So when they are agree to when the transferee company is able to pay more, that is called assertion. If the transferee company is pay less than the actual value of the business, then that is called delusion. So the next part is performa EPS. So first of all, the performa analysis, using the performa calculations to estimate the benefits of the mergers or acquisition, is important, as it allows the acquirer to determine the price he is willing to pay. So second is a performa EPS. Performa EPS, before discussing this formula, we must know what is a performa EPS. So here we are calculating the EPS before and after the mergers and acquisitions. When we are talking about EPS again, EPS is earning available to equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares outstanding in the books. So when we are talking about earning available to equity shareholders, basically that can be calculated as a net profit after tax, after interest, after preference dividend. That should be divided by number of equity shares that are standing in the books at the time of merger, after the merger. So we have to calculate pre and post merger and acquisition EPS. So after that, we are applying this formula, pro forma EPS, that is acquirer net income plus target net income plus minus incremental adjustment, that should be divided by, whole should be divided by acquirer's share outstanding plus share issued. Means if we are talking about EPS, EPS is earning available to equity shareholder divided by number of equity shares. That can be calculated before the merger. After the merger, we can calculate acquirer net income plus target net income after acquiring the business plus or minus incremental adjustment. What we are paying excess, that should be added. If we are paying less, that should be deducted. So that should be divided by acquirer's share outstanding. पहले कितने शेयर्स थे प्लस न्यू कितने शेयर इशू करे हैं हमने आफ्टर द एक्विजिशन और आफ्टर द मर्जर. So by this we can calculate pro forma EPS. Then the next part is called assertion dilution analysis, under which there are three parts: assertion, number two is dilution, number three is break even analysis. So the first part, assertion part, in this basically if post EPS is increased in the acquirer EPS, means अगर मेरी नए वाली EPS जो है वो ज़्यादा है as compared to the previous EPS, that is known as assertion. Assertion stands for increase in EPS, means that is beneficial for the organization. And the second one is dilution. If my pro forma post deal EPS, means after the deal जो मैंने EPS find out करी है, that is lesser than the acquirer's EPS, that is called a dilution. Dilution means there is a decrease. And if break even analysis is basically when both are equal, pre and post EPS is equal, that is known as break even analysis. So basically there are three techniques to find the value of EPS, that is either there is a positive impact or negative impact. Hope all you understand this concept, that is impact on EPS after the mergers and acquisitions. If you have any query, then you can text me personally. Thank you.